I wish someone told me this earlier, but the main thing that's going to shift your growth journey from feeling like you're just testing out all of these different quirky life hacks into actually becoming the woman that you are hoping to grow into is learning to keep promises. Not the promises that you make to other people, but the promises that you make to yourself. Because here's the thing. Waking up at 5 a.m. and all of that stuff sounds great, but does it actually work for you? Is it actually aligned with who you are as a person? Does it even make sense in the life that you're trying to build long term? Hi, my name is Jaazy, and welcome to another episode of the I Am podcast, where we learn more about who we are as we draw closer to the great I am. A mistake that I've made is that you try to become this version of yourself before even knowing what that is and believing that it's possible. Because the reality is, the growth journey, you're going to make mistakes. And so if you're grounding your belief in your goals being possible, in your ability to stick to this journey of becoming, I'm sorry, but you're going to lose faith a lot. It's going to be really hard to actually believe that you're going to make it to that point where you want to be. Why? Because you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And in the journey of becoming, you're going to mess up a lot. You're going to fail to keep the promises that you make to yourself a lot. But when you can start to really see that bigger picture first, when you can have faith in that bigger picture first, you start to see your mistakes as part of the journey, as part of the growing process, rather than using them as proof that your dreams or whatever have you are invalid. And so while it does make sense to change behavior and to change your habits, what's really going to stick is changing your identity. Over the last few months, I've had to really wrestle in that in-between of going back to the person that I used to be or continuing to have faith and trust in the journey that I'm going on. Do I really still believe that the work that I'm putting in, that the character that I choose to uphold, despite my mistakes and all of those things, do I still believe that going that route is worth it? And I really had to ask myself and struggle with that question. But once shifting into that identity, I'm able to see my slower days as rest days that I need. Shifting into that new identity allows me to see everything through a new perspective. Once I can shift that perspective and understand my identity, I don't have to be a 5 a.m. girly. I can be how can Jazz's day be most productive for her? How can her day weave into how her personality works? I'm a night owl. I am not waking up at 5 a.m. I'm just not doing that. I like staying up late, and that is okay. But these are the things that you won't really recognize when you try to become a list of habits rather than realizing your identity and your identity and who it is that you're growing into. And of course, we all know this, but your identity and your ability to live in that, it's not going to happen overnight. And so it's so important that you start before you feel ready. And what does this mean? Well, this goes back to keeping the promises that you make for yourself. What are the areas where you struggle to keep the promises that you make to yourself? When I got back into roller skating, I had no problem sticking with my 30-day skate challenge. I loved it. I looked forward to it every day. It was what I wanted to do. When it comes to meal prepping every day rather than buying food from the cafe at work, there you got me. That one got me. That's hard. And so you have to realize the areas where you struggle to keep the promises to yourself and start to pick at those day after day, decision after decision, and slowly you'll watch yourself change, not into the perfect list of Pinterest, Instagram reel advice habits, but into a person that you actually can trust and respect. And when you learn to trust yourself more, it changes the game. It allows you to enter environments with your shoulders held high, knowing that even though this room might be above your pay grade, you'll trust that you'll be able to do your best to navigate it. It allows you to write out your personal dreams and know that you have the ability to ladder back. Okay, what are the things that I'm gonna have to do to make this happen? And you'll be able to trust yourself to bring those things into fruition. Knowing that at the end of the day, you're not doing it alone. You're walking in who you were made to be. You're walking in integrity, and God is going to bless that. bless that integrity that you've built, not in ascribing to, that perfect social media standard, but in actually taking the time to get to know how he made you, how you were made to tick, and being able to be consistent with that in relation to whatever season of life that you are in. Right now, I'm in a very creative, flexible season of life, but one day when I have a family, I might have to be that 5 a.m. And integrity in that season might look like waking up that early. But because I've built, again, that trust with myself, the ability to keep promises to myself, it's helpful because you won't be holding yourself to unrealistic standards that are outside of the season that you're in. And you also will be understanding of the fact that you're human. You're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. But you're going to be able to show up as your best self because you're becoming your best self every day. You're not acting in a certain way. You're not pursuing your goals. You're not being this dream woman that you aspire to be so that way you can, make the world happy or make your parents happy or make your friends happy or seem amazing to the people around you. You're doing it because it's critical to being able to have peace with yourself. It's critical to being able to know that you are actually holding up your end of the bargain because you're giving yourself your best bet at the life that is made for you to live. The most peaceful, prosperous, joyful version of your life that you can have the opportunity to live, but it starts on the inside. It starts with the little promises that we keep to ourselves every single day and going and growing from there. I hope that this video encouraged you. I know that it's a good reminder for me, and just if I write a to-do list, let me finish it. Not push off the items, not do whatever. Let me actually stick to what it is that I set up for myself. And being able to do that bit over bit, you will just watch yourself change, you'll watch yourself grow, and it's honestly one of the best feelings ever. But if you have any other thoughts, definitely leave them in the comments down below. Let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!